I know a lot of people that make a lot of money but have nothing to show for it. You don't want to be that person. Savings and investments will bring you the most wealth in your future. You're not even going to be ready for it. So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hey girl, welcome to the channel, welcome to the family. Make sure you subscribe. Today's video is going to be one that I know that you've been expecting, and I have talked about in my previous video that it was coming, so here it is. We'll be talking about money in your 20s. Yes guys, before we jump right into the video, I just want to take out time to appreciate all the love and support that I've been getting. Oh my god, like I don't even know what to say. Like, I am just grateful and super thankful that you guys are rocking with me, rocking with my content, rocking with, you know, basically all that I have to say. I didn't know anyone cared about what I had to say, especially in regards to these topics. So I just want to say thank you for every view, every like, every comment. Oh my god, the comments that I've been getting. I've been trying my best to respond to everyone. The ones that I can't respond to, just know that I always leave a heart because I read the comment and I appreciate the comment, and I've read your stories. Listen, thank you, okay? Thank you guys so much for the love. I absolutely appreciate, and I am simply grateful for everything so far. Also, don't forget to follow my new Instagram. You already know, the old one got hacked. We now have a new one on the screen and in the description box below, so thank you. Jumping right into the video, the reason why we're here, let's talk about money, shall we? Money in your 20s, especially as a woman. You're never too young to talk about money or plan investments, or, you know, plan your finances. You're never too young for that. Let's talk about one common thing that everyone knows about but actually do not know about: the difference between your wants and your needs. Listen, there's a huge difference between what you want and what you actually need. Knowing how to spend only on your needs and rarely on your wants. I didn't say to never spend on your wants, because I know I had mentioned this in my, you know, level up dating and all that, the video is going to be in the description box below if you haven't seen that video. But I had said this, like, when I mentioned, oh, if you cannot afford something 4 times or 3 times, you can't afford it at all. Someone had commented that, so does that mean that you shouldn't spoil yourself, which I would get into, but that's not what I mean. I just mean focus your priority on your needs rather than your wants. Extra are your wants, you know, like you want a cheeseburger. You don't need a cheeseburger, but you just want one. In line to spoiling yourself, right? You should spoil yourself sometimes. Like, that's what I personally live by, you know, self-care, taking care of yourself, you know, taking yourself out on dates, drinks, you know, just splurging on yourself. Like, I personally do that, and I encourage that because that is proper self-care for your mental health. But you should know where there is a limit in doing that. You should know where to stop. You should know how far you're willing to go. You should also know that you have other priorities there, like things that you need to cater for, like your main necessities in life, like your rent, your bills, tuition. So when you're splurging on yourself, should be money that you know that when you put into that item or that splurge would not affect other needs in your life. Okay, learn to live within your means. All right, so there's this formula that my friend came up with, and it is genius. It is the smartest thing ever. He came up with this last year, but trust me, this formula will definitely change your life and how you spend your income. To summarize it in the most simplest and shortest way ever, 40% goes to your rent, 20% goes to your savings. You have to have savings. Now let's just pause for a second and talk about that. You have to have savings. Save, okay? Save as much as you can. Life can be unpredictable. Things can happen. You could have a job today, the next 5 minutes you don't have a job. Anything can come up. Help. Listen, nothing is promised. There's always change. Things are always turning around, twisting. You never know, and it's something that you never expect. So 40% your rent, 20% savings, 10% goes on groceries. Listen, groceries. Let me just pause for a second and talk about groceries and cooking and the benefits of you cooking rather than you eating out. People know this, but they tend to just throw it at the back of their minds. Eating out is more expensive than you cooking food at home. It's a given, it's common knowledge, but so many people just kind of forget. I personally make a monthly list of groceries that needs to be in my house, from spices to water to eggs to toiletries to, you know, sanitary stuff. I make a list every month. I do bulk grocery shopping. Of course, during the week I would probably need one thing or two, or maybe water, I run out of water, or maybe just something in my house that I would need like in the week, like just little things. But I put out money from my monthly income and I buy groceries. This is something that my mom taught me. I've always known how to do this, like, because she does this. She shops once every month and she does groceries in bulk. And obviously for a family it's completely different, because at home usually you should buy like a bag of rice, beans, you know, all them stuff, gari, all that stuff, noodles, carton of noodles and stuff. And I just kind of took that from her. I'm not saying that you shouldn't eat out, but you calculate the amount of times in a month that you eat out. I don't like to eat out, but that's because I love to cook. I love to try recipes. I'm always cooking something, right? If you don't know how to cook, there are simple recipes on YouTube. In fact, if you want to learn how to cook anything you can find on YouTube. 10% of your income should go on investments. For this one, I would say to do your research like deep. There are a ton of videos on YouTube about investments like crypto, stocks, ETFs, and the rest of that. You always need to have something in place that is going to be milking you money. Your mindset should be how you could flip that, how you could make more from what you have, how you could invest that little that you have to make you more. That should be your mindset. That should be your goal. That should be what you should be thinking about every time that you have money. Now, in line to investment, 10% should go into personal investment. This one I always recommend, because you need to improve your skills. Personal investments could be, you know, taking an online course, or, you know, buying books, or just basically something to improve your already acquired skill or learn a new skill. Listen, I spoke about this, I think, in my last video, the video where I spoke about, you know, career, which I'm going to make a whole video about career and, you know, learning, getting your passion, you know, what to do basically for work in your 20s. But that 10% goes into that, you know, improving your skill. There are so many platforms. Two platforms that I absolutely love and I'll recommend to you is Udemy and Skillshare. Those two are my go-to platforms to learn anything. You can pick up any skill from there. You can improve your skill from there, even editing skills, cooking skills, art, anything you want to learn, you can learn from those. So the last 10% should go into miscellaneous stuff like, you know, drinks, shoes, clothes. It's just like basically spending money. Again, I'm going to say this: if you can't afford something 3 or 4 times at the time that you want it, not need it, you can't afford it at all, so just leave it. Except you cannot absolutely live without it. If you cannot live without it, then maybe, yes. Let's say you have $6,000 in your account. You want a bag that costs $4,000. You'll be left with $2,000 in your account. Do you think that's smart? So you carried a 4K bag with 2K inside. Make it make sense. Like, think about it logically. So if you cannot afford that bag 3 times at the time that you want it, don't get it at all. You can easily feel like, because I'm saying this to you, I don't encourage taking money risk. Listen, I do. I encourage taking risk with money and investment, but you have to be really smart about it. You need to do your research before you put in money into any type of investment. You just need to be really careful out there. Now, let me give you an example of the kind of risk that I have taken with money and it has worked out good for me. Let me use my channel as an example to you. When I started my channel, I started with my phone, right? I used what I had. So basically, I couldn't afford a camera at the time. Not like I couldn't afford a camera, but I couldn't afford it, point blank period, because like I said, if you cannot afford something 3 times, you can't afford it at all. When you get to a point in your content creation, you know, journey or influencer journey, you just need to get a camera. You need to at least start to, like, you know, upgrade your tools and equipment. So I needed to get a camera. I still could not afford it at the time. When I mean afford it, meaning if I took out that money out my bank account, I would really not have a lot to live on, and I'll struggle the next month. But I did it anyway because I was investing into something that could potentially bring me income. So I did it. So basically, with this type of thought or this type of investment, yes, I strongly agree. If you want to invest in something that would give you return, but smart return, smart ones, yes, do it. Take the risk, jump the gun, go ahead, do it. But you have to be really careful. Like I said, you don't want to invest in something that will completely wipe your bank account. Always plan your spending, you're going out with friends, that is necessary. And if you have good friends around you, they will also align with you on these thoughts, and they will help you, they will guide you through it. You're not going to have friends, which that video also is coming up, like friends in your 20s, friendships in your 20s. Like, you should have friends that could understand this and plan with you. You're all in the same boat, trying to make the most out of your 20s and trying to make the most out of your life. So they should always understand when things like this are going on, and they should always plan with you. They should align with those thoughts on, okay, let's not go out this weekend, but let's plan to go out that weekend and stuff. Do you get what I mean? You know how they say cut your clothes according to your size? Cut your phone according to your account / your pocket. All right, do that. Let's talk about this, because obviously I touched on it previously, but let me say it again. You don't necessarily have to move out of your parents' house or your family house just because you think you're grown and that's what you should do. No. Living in your family house or living with your parents is comfortable enough, and you cannot absolutely afford to throw yourself out into this world of bills and rent. Make sure you take as much time needed to prepare yourself before you throw yourself out there. Because Jane has done it, Felicia has done it, Amaka has done it, Nkechi has done it, Grace has done it, does not mean that you should do it. Don't feel the pressure, sis. Take your time, work from your family house, your parents' house, save up until you're absolutely ready. All right, I highly recommend creating an emergency fund. This will also help you in terms of when you want to move out. Emergency funds are typically 5 to 6 months of your income stored up separately somewhere, never to be touched. I recommend the fixed deposits method. Every bank does this. I'm sure your bank does it too. You just create this fixed deposit. You can't touch it until you break the hole. You can't withdraw it or anything. I always love that method to save money. Or you could just have a regular savings account. I definitely have a regular savings account that I don't even have like a debit card for, and this is intentional because it's a savings account and I just don't want to touch, you know, the money in there. So you could also do that as well if you don't want to try the fixed deposit method. So for those of us that live in countries that offer spending on credit, you know, this thing actually, people have their different opinions, okay? People have their different opinions about, you know, the whole credit idea or the whole credit method. I personally am against it, like 100%. Maybe just because I am so scared of debt, and also because I'm that one person that I try my best to live within my means. I make do with what I have, and I make do with what like I can afford. Like I basically just do things at the right. I like to do things at the right time, okay? I like to do things at the right time. So I'm not 100% with the whole credit idea, because I just feel like that's a burden on your shoulder that you don't even know you're carrying, or you don't feel it as much just because you have like a period of time that you have to pay off that debt or that burden. But I'm not telling you not to do it, right? You can do it, but then just be smart about it. Like, you don't have to have everything. Like, you know how in these countries you can get a car on credit, a phone on credit, a laptop on credit, like basically everything on credit these days. You don't have to have everything at once. You can take the things that you need on credit. Listen, I almost gave myself a headache trying to not to let you know. The things that you basically have to pay on credit, the things that I feel like you should take on credit are like things that you absolutely cannot live without. So for instance, there are countries like America that Owning a car is highly, like, it's beneficial. You need a car to be able to move around. The transport system isn't great like countries here in Europe, right? So definitely you could get a car on credit. That's fine. You need it. You absolutely need it. You could get like a house on credit. You could do that, but I don't 100%. Let me say I'm not 100% with it. I'm not. But you could do that because you absolutely need a roof over your head. So you could do that. What else was a need that you? Oh, tuition, definitely good. But you see, phones, laptops, and those gadgets that you, first of all, you don't need all of it. You don't need all of it. If your work requires you to have all of them at once, yes, you can get on credit, especially if you're doing YouTube. I don't mind, but do you really need it though? You that you're working in like Burger King and KFC, and do you really need it? Ask yourself, do you really need it? Even if you have the money to spend on these things, you still don't need all the gadgets. You don't need the latest stuff, okay? You really do not. Let's jump into social media pressure and trends that everyone wants to keep up with now, okay? Because this is just, it's a problem, all right? It's a huge problem that trends are being set, things are being done on social media to look like everyone is happy and living this fantastic life, when in reality it's not. Let me just be honest with you. Most of your influencers that you actually look up to, that look like their Instagram feed looks like they're living in an island and they own like these and third. Do you know that most of them don't actually own those things? They can't even afford the things they show you. Do you know that? No, I'm asking you, do you really know that? Do you know that most of those your influencers, they really just pose with the items they get? Do you know that? So you're looking at these things and trying to, you know, spend the money that you should be using to do something else on these things that they keep putting in your face, that you basically lose yourself and waste a lot of money on these items. And you know what's funny? Most of these items that they even get, they're like sponsorship. They themselves, even if they can afford it, will not buy it. They wouldn't, like, with their own money. And that's me being transparent 100%, wouldn't buy these things. But obviously, like, there are sponsorships, there are like partnerships and all of that, and most of those influencers get those things free. That's if they get it. It doesn't make sense. And I can understand how things can be made to look really, really good, and then you begin to question yourself and your life, your sweet, beautiful life that you're living. Sis, don't do that, because that's not real life. You're doing enough. You are. It's just because you don't know how to make what you're doing look much more. That's why you feel like you're not, because they have the skill. They have the skill to make their burger look like a premium steak, while you don't. That's the difference. True. But what I'm going to leave you with is discipline. Listen, I already talked about this. I always scream about discipline in your 20s. Be disciplined with your money. Make sure that for every dime that goes out of your account is going out with you knowing exactly, even if you're spending it recklessly, which you shouldn't in your 20s or even at all in life. We should be well aware of where every dime of your income or money that you get is going. If you have to create a list, if you have to have a book of, you know, you writing some certain things down, that's how you're able to track money and know where you need to cut back on, or where you need to improve, or where you need to pump more money, or where you need to take out completely. If you need to have a book, have a book. I just started doing this with, you know, my income and my businesses and everything, where I would write, you know, everything. Even for every sponsorship I get, I write it down with the amount. If I have some pending, I put them at the side as well. Some are pending. This is that. This is what I spent. This came in. This went out. You have to be specific, and you also have to be disciplined. Like, you follow through with a formula like the one I gave you. I'm not saying that you'll be perfect with it. I'm not saying that you wouldn't have the days where you would fall off and spend on something and just basically bone and splurge. You get, there are times like that, but then just make sure that you're not doing it in a very foolish way that will cost you like 4 to 5 months of repair. You get what I mean? Always discipline yourself. I know a lot of people that make a lot of money but have nothing to show for it. You don't want to be that person. Savings and investment will bring you the most wealth in your future. You're not even going to be ready for it. I hope this video was at least a little bit helpful for you, getting you to understand some certain things about money in your 20s. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, you guys know that I love to chat with you. I love to talk to you guys in the comment section. So let's go. Talk to me about money. Talk to me about your struggles. I also am planning to do a Q&A to talk about these different things. I'm going to try and do like 2 parts Q&A because I'm going to put all of these series in one: dating, friendship, money, career. I'll put the questions in one, and then you shoot me with your questions and I'll answer. You could also tell me about your stories, and I'll also give my advice. That'll be like a separate video, I guess, from the Q&A. But yeah, we'll do that. We'll have a lot of fun on this channel. More content to come. I am trying my best. I will definitely roll out content. Like, just keep letting me know what you want from me and I will give it to you. Like, trust me, I am ready to give it to you. I am. Don't forget to follow my Instagram. You guys know that when I'm not here, I am there all the time, every day, every hour. Not every hour because I have things to do, but you get the gist. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for the shares, likes, comments, all of that good stuff. I am so grateful. You have no idea. Oh, that's a very long outro. But anyway, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.